Welcome to 1337. Welcome to the future.
Welcome to 1337, the future of podcasts on the human element. I'm Max, your guide to understanding human behavior.
And I'm Sophia, here to explore the depths of the human psyche with you.
Today we're diving deep into, well, this is a story that spans centuries and continents. It's pretty huge. Get ready to explore how silver, yes, the shiny metal, shaped China's destiny and sparked global trade. And ultimately, this led to some pretty dramatic twists and turns.
It's a wild tale of emperors and opium and some unexpected connections to events you might be familiar with from American history.
All right, so picture this. It's the 16th century, and the Ming Dynasty in China is having a major headache. Their tax system is this chaotic mess of different goods, grain, silk, you name it.
Right.
And trying to collect and manage all this stuff is a logistical nightmare.
It's a nightmare. Just imagine trying to balance the books when your income is a random assortment of chickens and rolls of fabric.
So in 1581, they roll out this grand plan. It's called the Single Whip Reform. And the idea is to simplify everything, right? By making everyone pay taxes in silver. Sounds pretty logical, right? I mean, silver is durable, easy to transport, and you can standardize its value.
Yeah, on the surface, it seems brilliant, except for one tiny detail.
Hit me with it. What's the detail?
China didn't actually have a lot of silver. Talk about a budgeting fail, right?
Oh, this is where it gets juicy. As if on cue, the Spanish stumble upon a mountain of silver in South America, the Cerro Rico mine, to be precise, and we're talking the purest silver the world had ever seen.
It was like finding a giant piggy bank filled with the exact thing China needed. It's perfect.
So suddenly you've got this insatiable demand for silver in China, and this massive new supply in South America. And that, my friend, is how the first truly global trade network was born.
Wow, just imagine those early maps, with trade routes crisscrossing the globe, all driven by this hunger, this desperate hunger for silver.
Hold on, how did they even get all that silver across the Pacific? Weren't we pre-Suez Canal, pre-Panama Canal, pretty much everything convenient back then?
Well, they built these incredible ships called Manila Galleons. Think massive, almost indestructible vessels, specifically designed to haul tons, literal tons of silver across vast distances. I mean, they were the supertankers of their day.
Manila Galleons, do they have cannons and stuff? Were there pirate battles on the high seas?
Absolutely. These ships were heavily armed, and the journey was, perilous. Pirates, storms, you name it. Those sailors had some wild tales to tell, I'm sure.
So it's incredible to think that China's demand for silver was indirectly financing Spanish conquests and adventures in Europe. I mean, all those doubloons and pieces of eight, they had a Chinese connection.
It's a fantastic illustration of how seemingly isolated events are actually interconnected on a global scale. And this flow of silver had a profound impact on both China and the world for centuries to come. For centuries.
Speaking of impact, let's fast forward to the 18th century. China's at the height of its power. The world is clamoring for their exquisite tea, porcelain, silk, and silvers pouring into their coffers. Life is good, right?
Right, except for one little snag.
Lay it on me.
Yeah.
What's the catch this time?
Well, enter the British East India Company, a trading powerhouse with ambitions that rivaled nations, and a serious craving for that Chinese tea. But you see, they were getting tired of shipping out all their silver.
Ah, so they wanted to trade something other than silver for China's goodies. Did they offer British wool or something?
Let's just say they weren't exactly offering things the Chinese were clamoring for. You see, the British desperately wanted to break into the Chinese market with their own manufactured goods. But the Chinese weren't interested. I mean, they had everything they needed already.
So what did the British do? Did they just accept defeat and go home with their tails between their legs?
Not quite. In 1793, they sent this grand embassy, led by Lord Macartney, to try and persuade the Qianlong Emperor to open up trade for British goods. Think of it as like a high-stakes business meeting, but with a side of imperial grandeur.
Okay, so did the emperor say, sure, let's make a deal?
Not even close. The emperor basically sent them packing. He sent a letter that basically said, thanks, but no thanks, we're good. And it was a monumental diplomatic fail for the British and a sign that the balance of power was beginning to shift.
Ouch. Talk about a bruised ego, but what did the British expect? Did they think they could just waltz in and dictate terms to the Emperor of China?
It does seem a bit presumptuous in hindsight, doesn't it? The British were used to getting their way, especially when it came to trade. But you see, China was a different beast altogether.
And this rejection is going to come back to buck them, isn't it? It's setting the stage for a whole lot of trouble down the line.
You're absolutely right. And that trouble is going to come in the form of a very addictive substance.
Uh-oh. Sounds like we're heading into some dark territory here.
We are. The British, frustrated and desperate for a solution, are about to unleash a force that will have devastating consequences for China. But that's a story for the next part of our deep dive.
So last time we left off with the British getting, well, kind of a royal smackdown from the Qianlong Emperor. I mean, they're desperate to trade with China, but the emperor's not budging. What happens next?
Well, as you hinted at, they take a darker turn. You see, the British, blocked from, legitimate trade, turn to a more, let's say, creative solution.
What's that? What's the creative solution?
Opium.
Opium. Like the drug? Seriously?
Yep. The very same. They start cultivating it in their Indian colony and smuggling it into China. And it's a risky move, but, well, the demand is there. And the profits are enormous.
Wow. Talk about a moral dilemma. I mean, they knew this stuff was addictive and harmful.
Oh, they knew. They absolutely knew. But, the lure of profit often outweighs ethical concerns, unfortunately. And figures like Jardine and Matheson, these were real-life merchant princes, built vast fortunes on the opium trade. I mean, they became incredibly powerful and influential, like able to shape policy, even sway governments.
So they're basically fueling a national addiction crisis for their own personal gain? Not exactly a proud moment for the British Empire.
No. It's a dark chapter, no doubt about it. And the consequences for China are devastating. Millions become addicted, silver starts flowing out of the country to pay for the opium, and the social fabric starts to, unravel.
This is like a train wreck in slow motion, isn't it? What is the Chinese government doing about this? I mean, they can't just sit back and watch their country collapse.
They don't. In 1839, they appoint Commissioner Lin Zexu to deal with this crisis. And he's a tough, uncompromising guy, and he's determined to stop the opium trade no matter the cost.
Sounds like he's China's last hope. What does he do?
Well, Lin takes a radical approach. He confiscates and destroys massive amounts of opium, something like 20,000 chests worth, and, shuts down the major trading houses involved in this whole smuggling operation. It's a bold move, a direct challenge to British power.
Wow. Talk about a power move. Did it work? Did he manage to stop the opium trade?
It did for a while, but it also triggered the First Opium War. You see, the British, furious at having their lucrative trade disrupted, respond with military force. And here's where China's technological disadvantage really shows.
The Industrial Revolution had transformed Europe by that. I mean, they had steamships, modern weapons in China.
Exactly. China's military is still largely stuck in the past, and they're no match for the British Navy and artillery. The First Opium War ends in a humiliating defeat for China, forcing them to cede Hong Kong and open up more ports to foreign trade.
Hong Kong, wow, that's a major loss. So it backfires spectacularly. Instead of stopping the opium, they end up giving away this vital port and weakening their position even further.
It's a tragic irony. And unfortunately, it doesn't end there. Just a couple of decades later, they get embroiled in the Second Opium War, which is even more disastrous. The British and French, because the French joined the fray this time, inflict crushing defeats on the Chinese. It culminates in the looting and burning of the emperor's summer palace.
The summer palace. Wasn't that an architectural marvel, like filled with priceless art and treasures? What a senseless act of destruction.
It was a devastating loss, both materially and symbolically. It was a blatant display of British and French power designed to humiliate and subjugate the Chinese.
It's heartbreaking to see how China goes from this global powerhouse to being bullied and exploited by foreign powers. It's like watching a giant get brought to its knees.
It's a stark reminder of how quickly fortunes can change and how technological advancements can just shift the balance of power. But even amidst this turmoil, there are those within China who recognize the need for change. They see the writing on the wall, and they're determined to find a way out of this mess.
Okay, so there's a glimmer of hope. Tell me more about these reformers. Who are they and what are they trying to do?
Well, one key figure is Prince Gong, a forward-thinking member of the imperial family. He understands that China needs to modernize, to adopt Western technology and ideas, if they want to survive in this new world order.
So he's like China's version of Peter the Great, traveling to Europe, learning about shipbuilding and all that.
He doesn't go that far, but he does spearhead this, the self-strengthening movement, this series of reforms aimed at modernizing China's military, industry, and education system. It's a desperate attempt to catch up with the West.
Sounds like a tall order.
Yeah.
Did it work? Was he able to turn the tide?
It's a complicated story. With the successes and setbacks, he faces resistance from, conservative factions within the court, those who cling to the old ways and see any change as a threat. And there's another powerful figure who emerges, one who will play a pivotal role in China's fate, Empress Dowager Cixi.
Oh yeah, I've heard of her. Wasn't she like the ultimate power behind the throne for decades? A real force to be reckoned with.
Exactly. And she's not exactly a fan of reforms. She sees them as a threat to her power and to the traditional order. And, well, her clash with Prince Gong will have major implications for China's future.
This is getting good. It's like a palace drama with real-world consequences.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens next? Does Prince Gong succeed in his reforms? What's Cixi's role in all of this?
Well, that's where things get even more complex. And that's a story for the next part of our deep dive.
Okay, so we've got this clash of titans brewing. Prince Gong pushing for modernization and Empress Dowager Cixi resisting change. What happens next in this saga?
Well, it's a power struggle, and, it has huge consequences for China. Prince Gong manages to implement some reforms, like he creates a modern arsenal, shipyards, but Cixi's constantly, undermining his efforts.
She sounds like a tough cookie. What was her deal? Was she just, afraid of losing power?
I think it's, more complex than that. You see, Cixi is a product of her time, right? She believes in the traditional Confucian order and sees Western influence as a threat to China's, very identity.
So she's like, we've been doing things this way for centuries. Why change now?
Exactly. And her stance resonates with, a lot of people. There's this widespread resentment towards foreigners who are seen as exploiting China's weakness. And this resentment explodes in a dramatic and ultimately disastrous way with the Boxer Rebellion.
Oh yeah, the Boxers. Weren't they like a martial arts group who believed they were invincible to bullets?
That's them. They believe they have supernatural powers and launch this violent uprising against foreigners and Chinese Christians. They think they can just drive them out of the country. And Cixi, surprisingly, throws her support behind them.
Wait, seriously, she backs this radical violent movement. What was she thinking?
Well, it's a miscalculation, of epic proportions. You see, she underestimates the resolve of the foreign powers and overestimates the Boxers' abilities. The rebellion is brutally crushed, leading to further humiliation and concessions for China.
Another major setback for China. What happens in the aftermath of the Boxer Rebellion?
Well, China is forced to pay, massive indemnities to the foreign powers. This cripples their economy even further. It's a dark period, but it also sparks a realization among, some Chinese leaders. They see that the old ways simply won't work anymore. They need radical change, and they need it now.
It's like they've hit rock bottom, and the only way out is to reinvent themselves. So who steps up to lead China in this new direction?
Well, this is where our story takes us to Shanghai. It's this bustling, cosmopolitan city. It's like a world apart from the imperial court in Beijing. Shanghai is largely under foreign control, but it's also a hotbed of new ideas and economic experimentation.
So it's like a microcosm of China's challenges and opportunities all rolled into one.
Exactly. And it's here that we meet TV Soong. He's this brilliant finance minister. He emerges as this key figure in China's efforts to modernize its economy. Remember that whole problem with China's chaotic, silver-based currency system?
Yeah, the ingots, the weighing, the testing for purity. What a mess.
Soong decides to tackle this head on. In 1933, he abolishes the old system and introduces a standardized silver dollar. It's a bold move, and for a while it seems like it might actually stabilize the Chinese economy.
Silver's back in the game, but this time in a more modern, standardized form.
Precisely. But just when things are looking up, fate throws another curveball. The world is in the grip of the Great Depression, and the United States passes the Silver Purchase Act of 1934.
I remember learning about this in history class. Didn't the U.S. start buying up massive amounts of silver, driving up the price globally?
You got it. And this has a devastating impact on China. Suddenly, it becomes incredibly profitable to smuggle silver out of the country. All that silver Soong had worked so hard to bring into the Chinese economy starts flowing right back out.
So all those reforms, all that effort, it all goes down the drain. Talk about bad timing.
It's a cruel twist of fate. China's economy goes into a tailspin, and they're left with no choice but to, abandon the silver standard altogether in 1935.
Wow. The end of an era. It's incredible to think how silver went from being China's savior to, ultimately playing a role in their decline. It's like a historical roller coaster ride. Booms, busts, wars, reforms, and silver is there for every twist and turn.
It's a reminder that even, seemingly stable economic systems, they can be vulnerable to global forces and unexpected events.
So what's the big takeaway for our listeners? What should we keep in mind knowing this history?
I think it highlights the interconnectedness of the global economy. What happens in one part of the world, it can have ripple effects, everywhere. And it underscores the importance of, understanding history, not just as like a collection of facts, but as a way to gain insights into the present and the future.
It also makes you think about the human element, right? Emperors, traders, reformers, they're all driven by their own ambitions, fears, desires. And those human choices, they can have a profound impact on the course of history.
Absolutely. And speaking of the human element, I have a final thought-provoking question for our listeners. China is once again a major importer of silver, but this time it's not for coins or currency. It's for their massive electronics industry. Your smartphones, your laptops, they all use silver.
So is history repeating itself? Is China's reliance on silver for their tech boom, is it a sign of strength or a potential vulnerability?
That's the question we all need to ponder as we navigate this, increasingly complex and interconnected world.
And if you're as fascinated by this deep dive as we are, be sure to visit us at 1337podcast.com for more explorations of the human element. We've got a treasure trove of episodes waiting for you, each one a journey into the depths of human behavior, history, and the forces that shape our world.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. We'll see you next time for another adventure in understanding ourselves and the world around us.
Strength and honor. I am Spartacus.
Thanks for watching. Tap into 1337podcast.com.